It's got to be better here in 19 for Florida State. Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, running down the Seminoles position by position.
And let us be honest with it. And we as FSU football fans who are watching this, we can be honest with it. The offensive line has been god awful for 3 years. It goes back to Rick Trickett. It goes back to Greg Frey last year. That has been a horrible group for 3 years. So with Randy Clements coming along with Kendall Briles from Houston, do I think that unit will be better? Yes. That's a unit that has to get better very quickly. It's a unit that lost Landon Dickerson, arguably one of the biggest, I would say, disappointments as far as the recent recruiting classes, mostly because, like many other recruits, 4-star, 5-star recruits who come in highly regarded, and then their performance on the field does not show it. And he'll be heading to Alabama, transfer as a grad transfer out there to the Crimson Tide. He also was injured much of the last few seasons. So is that a major loss? No, it's a major loss as far as what? I don't really see it as much of a major loss. I think it opens up the door. You have other guys. You have, Cole Minshew. You have, just look at the list. You have, Dante Lucas who's coming in, Jay Williams, junior college transfer who's coming in. You have Ryan Roberts transferring in from Northern Illinois. These are guys who I think are, they're not 5-star recruits. They're not, the best of the best, but these are guys who are quality players. Dante Lucas, I can honestly see him starting as a true freshman against Boise State. Ryan Roberts, I think he's that grad transfer stability who can come in and lead these guys. So I think it's a group that doesn't have to go from 0 to 100, but they have to at least go from 0 to 50. They have to keep James Blackman off the ground. They have to open up some holes for Cam Akers. They have to give Blackman at least 3 or 4 seconds to find an open receiver downfield. That's where it all starts. We've talked about the other positions. It's all going to start with, can this offensive line, can they let the rest of the team breathe?
Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. We're looking at the much maligned and criticized Florida State offensive line with Jason Parker from Chop Chat. And before we get into any more personnel, because I see some guys that you referenced in the 2019 class who may need to be some reinforcements or may need to plug in and play quite a bit. The offensive system, again, as we break down these personnel groupings within the offense, the overriding theme is, okay, a different offense or an enhancement or upgrade or extension over the Willie Taggart offense with Kendall Briles coming in, takes pressure off the offensive line, but you need a different type of player and performance development out of those players along the offensive line to execute this offense.
And I think and the people who sit here and say that it's a brand new offense, and you've read that from some outlets out there, it is not a brand new offense. It's a you hit the nail on the head. It's a version 2.0 of the Willie Taggart, Walt Bell offense. Is it going to be a much smoother offense? I think so. I personally do. I think, you do need. It's going to be more high paced. It's going to be more fast and just quick in getting to it. So that's going to be the question: is can these guys be ready? Can they be ready physically? Can they be ready condition wise? And I think that's what you've seen a lot of what's going on. It's been a lot more of a business structure this offseason as opposed to what you saw in the spring 2018. Now going 5-7, of course, will do that to any team, but I think that's what you're starting to see is, okay, this didn't work last year. Let's try plan B.
Among the guys that could possibly make an impact or maybe pushed into a situation in which they need to make an impact from this last recruiting class, Ira Henry's an offensive tackle, came in from Missouri. You also have, that's when the computer freezes up and cycles and you can't get to the next guy. You've got an offensive tackle in Darius Washington from Pensacola, top 40 position player at his spot there. But from the ratings, most likely that guy is also Dante Lucas, who's a top 10 guard at his guard spot from IMG Academy. So considering the lackluster play of the offensive line, you suffered some issues. I was going to Cole Minshew there as he was coming back from a neck injury. It all just adds up to a situation in which you would think some of the 2019 class is going to have to make a fairly major contribution.
And as I said earlier, the two guys that I can see from the 2019 class are Jay Williams, who's a junior college transfer from out in California, and I think Dante Lucas. I think I watched him when he was down here in high school at Miami's Booker T. Washington before going to IMG over in the Bradenton area. I think that those two players have the biggest chance of being in the starting lineup when FSU takes on Boise State on August 31st. I think those are two. I think Williams, both from his experience at already having played college football at the JUCO level, and I think Dante Lucas because of his size and his ability. I like IMG Academy. I'm not 100% sold on IMG kids are automatically better than most high school kids, but I think that he has the physical traits that put him above a lot of the other guys who are coming in. I think that if he has a solid summer, has a solid opening to the fall, I think that Clemens and I think Briles and Taggart are going to have to put him in the starting lineup.